preparation. And we are live. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Business Meets Life. Today we have a very special guest here with us. Julia Mann just flew in from Brisbane to this amazing podcast here with you guys. Thank you so much, Julia. How are you feeling today?
I'm excited. Let's get going. It was very, very grand behind the scenes, I can tell you that.
Oh, amazing. Good. Okay, first of all, let's learn a little bit more about Julia. I want to show you guys a little intro video. So stay with me.
I like how you say Julia, because that's the German way of saying my name.
Right, everyone calls you Julia nowadays because you've been here forever, right?
Yeah, over 22 years.
Wow.
There we go.
Good, let's check it out. A little bit more about amazing Julia.
Social media influencer, actress and a singer from Australia.
Please make welcome Julia Mann from Last Tribe to the stage.
You've done so much, you've spoken on so many different...
Simply posting an ad and saying, buy my stuff. You can't just jump at someone and say, hey, buy my stuff now. Because they have no idea who you are. They don't know you.
For me, being able to go through your course and learn not only how to grow the community, but engage with them, how to implement Facebook Live, Facebook video, and just add value in a way that I couldn't do with written content online. It's changed my whole business.
I just want to say thank you, Julia. Your teaching was fabulous. I would like to highly recommend you to other people.
We were so incredibly excited to get our hands on Julia's book, and we got so much value from it.
It is so much value for such an incredible price.
So Charlie Sheen, Jewel, Steve Wozniak from Apple. You've interviewed?
Not only does she make money for others, but she is able to do it in her own businesses. In fact, she's done it in several businesses.
Wow. This is a huge. Where was that? The speech.
That was in Melbourne at an event where Gary Vaynerchuk was the main guy coming on, and so
The change in my business has just been incredible, honestly.
Julia Mann is an absolute legend.
Julia is such an expert in this area, and this book is not only an easy and fun read.
If you get the chance to work with Julia, I'd say go for it. Don't hold back. Your business will certainly grow from it, and you will learn a hell of a lot from her.
All right, maybe I didn't choose the right video, but I think this is a wonderful introduction about business growth coach Julia Mann. Let's stop sharing now. Amazing.
Here we are.
Woo! Okay, everyone. So Julia Mann is an AI and marketing coach and expert, entrepreneur, and international speaker, as we could just see. She built 2, 6, and 7-figure businesses in the beauty industry. That's why you look so beautiful. Although I would say natural beauty. So they're called Lash Tribe and Lash Link. Before pivoting fully into AI, now she helps coaches, consultants, and business owners install AI and marketing systems that scale without adding staff or burning out. She is Senior Managing Partner at CoreBrain.ai and co-founder at the AI Agency Group. Woohoo! Thank you so much for flying into Sydney just for us, amazing Julia.
Excited to be here.
Yes. Okay, so usually we speak German until we actually realize that our German is like
Rusty
in
certain aspects. Yeah.
Although you lived there for 22 years, right?
Yeah, but I've also been here for 22 years. I've actually been here now longer than I lived in Germany.
Wow, but you were not born in Germany, right?
No, I was born in Brazil, and when I was 1.5, we moved to Germany. So I've actually lived Brazil 1.5, Germany 20 odd, and here 22 years now.
Wow, my dad married to a Brazilian a couple of years ago, but I have not been yet.
No, I haven't been back since.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've built multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses, but take us a little bit back. What was your very first, this could actually work moment?
With Lash Tribe, it was, okay, let me think back now. This isn't only going to be a 45-minute podcast. I'm going to have to try and keep it a bit shorter because it's a really long story. So I was in the beauty industry. I had a home salon, and then I decided I wanted to do something that was bringing in money without me having to physically do everything all the time, right? Work smarter, not harder. And so I actually engaged a coach back in the day, and she taught me how I could build my brand online. That was brand new back then, 17-ish years ago. You know, now everyone does it. Everyone does it. But for me back then, it was new, so I did that. And then the moment where I thought, oh my God, this is taking off, was when I went live on Facebook 16-ish years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And so many people commented and said, how can I buy your stuff? How can I hire you to help me? And I didn't know that could be possible, because if you're at home by yourself in this little home salon, and all of a sudden you could reach all of these basically millions of people, not that it was millions, but in my case it was probably thousands, you could reach them with simple live videos. That was like a game changer. And from there, it took like 2 years to build that business up from the ground through a Facebook group to 7 figures.
Coming from China, like this live streaming nowadays is so common.
Huge.
And especially like selling. I know that TikTok, like those shops are slowly opening in the UK and other kind of countries step by steps. Do you still have these brands? Do you still like do something with them, or have you sold them?
My lash brand, I still have. My daughter is now shipping out orders every day. I hope she has remembered this morning to do that. I've really made it a lot smaller because it could have gone bigger and bigger and bigger, but because China came in with a lot of cheaper products, I didn't keep up with the brand in the COVID times because the salon shut down. And a lot of people didn't have money to buy quality products anymore, and a lot of salons weren't able to trade. So you weren't able to actually ship anything out because no one was trading, especially in Melbourne. We're shut down for like 10 months. So during that time, I really honed in on the small products that were selling constantly rather than having a huge range. I went from this really, really big warehouse to a really small, in comparison, a smaller area now, and now a double garage, but I still ship out products daily, worldwide, but just really condensed it into something that in the beginning felt, oh my God, I'm losing, you know, downsizing, but I had to downsize, and now I'm still making the same profit than I was before with less products. So that's still there. That brand is still there, Lashlink is still there, just on a smaller scale.
Impressive. And what I also find impressive in you is from the start, you really invested in getting a coach. So what has been your experience of having, or like putting in all this money? And I know it can sometimes be scary, but to invest in this coach, in that mentor.
Well, that, and it was a girl back then, that was the best decision I ever made because it was new. I didn't know how to do it. Someone had done it herself. And she taught exactly the way that it was done, step by step.
Oh.
So I followed something that was proven, and I just did it in my niche, and it worked. And I've been doing it ever since. When I see someone online that I like, they're doing really well, although these days you've got to be careful because, like my coach now says, everyone is a millionaire online. But they're not really. You really got to do your research and dig deeper and talk to other people. But I always have coaches. Always had, or masterminds, or like some kind of community to learn from and with.
So nice to see we have Mark and Kirsten joining every single day nowadays for the podcast.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Hello, guys. Interesting topic. So yeah, we have people here from all around the world actually. That's exciting. Okay, I would love to ask you, like, let's say a little bit more about like the original history and before you've reinvented yourself.
Yeah.
From lashes to AI marketing. I mean, this is a huge pivot, right?
It is.
And people would also have a lot of like prejudices against women who come from the beauty industry and all these things. What made you really walk away from this successful business, even if like it was challenging during the COVID times, to start over in a completely new space?
Yeah. So first of all, I didn't fully walk away because it's still there. I just outsourced it. Now my daughter is doing it. Mainly.
How old is your daughter?
She's 14 and a half.
Wow.
But it's a home business now for her. It's easy enough to quickly do it in the morning or at night. So that's still there. It's just downsized. But for me, when I was invited to speak all over the world at Lash conferences, yes, they are a thing. I mean, every industry has a conference.
Wow.
I was literally traveling the world, 4 or 5 different conferences every year, and they never asked me to speak about lashes. Never. They always asked me to speak about how I built my brand, how I did my social media, my marketing, how I outsourced, because they said, you're everywhere. How do you do all of this? How do you edit your videos so quickly? How do you have such a nice funnel? How does this even work? And that's the stuff I always taught at the conferences. It was never about the lashes. It was always about how did you get there? How did you build that business? And how can we do the same? And this is why I was actually one of the first in the industry to actually do a business and branding course specifically for the beauty industry.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is how then started slipping into AI. COVID, yes, it changed a lot, and I did lose a little bit of my passion back then for that, and this is finally I kind of put it on the side to really think and focus, and I think every one of us had like maybe a year and a half where we were kind of digging deep. What is my purpose?
Yes.
What do I want to do? Why am I here on this earth, you know?
Where do I move next?
What's my next business? Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're so good at so many things, but where do you need to focus on? I mean, AI came out at that time, and me having slight ADHD tendencies, although it has never been officially diagnosed.
Welcome to the club.
I think a lot of us have that. For me, it was focusing on AI and a hyper-focused. I was literally not fully locking myself in, but in the random way I kind of was. Just like days after days after days, just sitting down and learning everything about this new AI thing, editing videos, doing automations, just little bits and pieces, you know, in the start, and then really finding that helped my own business. And because I came from teaching others how to run their businesses, that's how I kind of slipped into it. And before I even really officially announced it, I had people already ask me, can you do this for me? Can you help me with that? Can you coach me? And then last year I had my very first marketing and AI, not a conference, but like a marketing day, where we just had a bunch of people, not a bunch, a few people. For me, it was a bunch because it was brand new, like 10, 12 people come together in a small room with their laptops, and I taught live how to automate the business. And now it's growing, you know, now I'm getting more people asking about the services, and here we are.
That is amazing. So someone like you who has lived across Brazil, Germany, Australia, how did those environments shape the way you think about business and opportunity?
I can't say that Brazil helped a lot. I can't say that Germany helped a lot. But what I can say is that the diversity of me living in different countries perhaps more helped with my mindset, that I'm not stuck with one thing constantly. So it's more about seeking where you are in that moment, where the opportunities are. But when I moved away from Germany, even though I was in my 20s, I was not business-minded at all. I was like in my early 20s. I had finished school. I actually had an acting diploma.
Wow.
Which I guess helps a little bit with camera stuff these days. Not that I'm acting now, but just with the confidence in front of camera and things like that. But it had nothing to do with business at all. I didn't know how to build relationships with people. I was very naive when I moved here. So I can't say that shaped anything other than the need and want to always feel like I'm having a purpose because of where I came from. I never thought, where's the, you know.
Was there, again, like a trigger moment, something specific that all changed it?
I think a lot of the, you know, what we consider failures, as in when I moved here to Australia for the first time, that was a failed relationship that I moved here for. I failed here, but I was so stubborn and so focused to actually be able to stay in this country because I fell in love with it, to really become a lot more resilient. And I grew up very quickly. It grew very, very quickly, and I decided to make more of myself, and that's when I started to have a look into how can I stay in Australia, what do I need to study to stay here, how can I prove everyone back home in Germany wrong that I'm not going to return after 6 months, because I said, I'm not coming back. Yeah, you will be back. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, and is your family still in Germany?
They are still in Germany, yeah.
Okay,
I think that probably that relationship helped a lot for me to grow up and actually focus on staying here.
He fulfilled his purpose.
He did, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do have a few comments in the chat. I'm going to get back to you later. And Mark, thank you so much for asking this. So, most people chase stability. You've chosen reinvention. What's the risk most people are too afraid to take that actually creates breakthroughs?
Just trying it in the first place without over-analyzing and failing really, really fast, because then you learn how to do it better next time. And you tell me one person who says they have an absolute stable life. What does that even mean?
Oh, especially nowadays times.
What does that mean?
Uncertainty is so high, insecurity.
You can't. If you chase stability, you'll be depressed your whole life, because there's never going to be full stability, in my opinion. There's always some area in your life, whether it's financial, love life, kids, relationships with other people, that there's always something that gives at some stage.
Absolutely. And have you had, can you think back of like a bad decision you made in your business, a big failure or so that has actually had a really big impact?
Yeah, hiring the wrong people and not letting them go fast enough. You know how they say, that's what I learned from that, which is not really failure, because it's all a learning. Hire slowly and fire fast. I did that the other way around because I really needed someone, but then I didn't let them go fast enough. And that's probably the biggest, because that cost me a lot of money and a lot of heartache and a lot of my time as well. And I could have potentially had someone in there that could have grown really quickly with me and helped grow the business back then. But
You're extremely active on social media. Guys, please start following Julia Mann Official. Julia Mann Official. On all of her social media. You can find her on all of the platforms. What does building a 7-figure business really look like behind the scenes? And also, let me add, plus also especially as a female entrepreneur.
Well, okay, my day-to-day, talk to the people online, wake up, then I go and get my son up.
How old is he?
He's 12. Gets up at 6:30 a.m. because he needs to go take a train at 7:15 to go to school. Then my daughter gets up at 7:30. Once these kids are out of the house, on my way to work, I usually ask my AI, hey, sum up what happens today in my inbox, because I set up my AI to tell me in a summary of what I need to look at. So,
and which specific AI are you using for
I
that?
use Claude for that right now, Claude Code and Claude Terminal. And I set it up to go through all my inboxes and flag important emails or important phone calls I missed, messages I received on social media, and all what's going on in my calendar as well. It's telling me, today you're doing this, today the weather is this, please don't forget your jumper. I set it up however I wanted it, and I do that on my way to the gym. And then, I drop my daughter off, and then I have about 20 minutes before the gym starts, which usually is around 9:15. So I sit in the car for 20 minutes, and then I go through the important things that need my attention right now, so I don't get sidetracked with all the BS that doesn't need my attention to make my business move forward. Then I do my gym session for an hour, and then I usually decide if I want to work from my home office, where I also have set up like a little podcast studio, and if it's nice weather, sometimes I go into a coffee shop and I literally just sit there, hyper-focus for at least 4 or 5 hours and work on whatever it is that I've planned for the day and whatever moves the needle, and then time to pick up the kids. Sports, playing Uber driver, and we have sports 4 times a week with the kids. And
what kind of sports?
So my son plays footy and basketball, and my daughter does soccer and soccer academy. So when I drop her at soccer, I sit in the car with my laptop, and that's like at 7:30 at night until about 9. and then I drive her home, and then I keep working until usually 11.
So when is there time left for your husband?
Oh, he does everything with us as well.
Oh, wow.
All the, yeah, he helps the morning routine and everything like that. But there's definitely an area that's needing a bit more attention.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. I think it's also very inspirational to see, okay, you can manage it. Yes, it's still very challenging, but I think it's rare to see, or to get to meet very successful entrepreneurial women like you.
It could be a lot more successful if it was just me. It would be a lot more successful if it was just me and my husband. But we made that choice, and now it is what it is. Believe me, when I was starting to grow the business and it grew really, really, really fast, sometimes I thought, oh, it would be so much better without having to look after all this stuff. Not that I would ever say I don't want my kids, but I'm looking at other people and I was comparing myself to all these single people in their 20s, and here I am in my 40s with 2 kids. Great properties that we own now, but everything is possible, you know, it's just on a smaller scale.
Yeah. And looking back at your life, is there anything you would do differently?
No, because it led me to where I am right now. It is right now the way that it is because of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
I don't know what it would be if I hadn't met the psychopath of a person back then that I dated when I came to Australia.
I hope
You
he's
know?
gonna watch this one day.
I might be working at Aldi for all I know. In Germany behind the till, you know.
You never know, right? So have you ever hit a point where success didn't feel like success anymore? And what triggered that shift?
Yeah, I think when I was so sleep deprived and I didn't have the right people to help, and for me it was just all about making more, having more success with the least amount of people possible. And this is why I changed it and I downsized everything, because my mental health was just like constantly just work. But it wasn't feeling exciting anymore. It was just, I'm sleep deprived. Yes, there's money in the bank, but I'm just constantly traveling as well. I'm traveling so much less now than what I was back in the day, and really downsizing and making that shift. And now I'm happy. I don't need to be a billionaire. I really don't. I just need to be able to do what I want, when I want, with whomever I want, and feel happy about that. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. We have a comment in here actually.
Yes.
What is the best way to start using AI in marketing?
In marketing, it depends. Is it for social media posting? Is it for scheduling? Is it for creating content? Because there's a lot of different areas. If you're still here.
Yeah, Mark, tell us a bit more on which part of marketing, and Julia will get to you.
Yeah, well, I can say the basic stuff. Obviously, a lot of us have it in our pockets all the time. Depending on which LLM you use, like most people have ChatGPT. I personally don't anymore. I cancelled that a while ago because there's better things out there. And if you're using Claude, or if you're doing a lot of research and creating content around that with those, and then you can use platforms that are auto-scheduling. You can use things like Buffer or Metricool, or if you have a Go high-level account, you can schedule through there. Or if you're a little bit techie like me and a little bit nerdy, you can use your Claude Code and schedule in there and create your content in there and have everything in little buckets and folders on your laptop or computer, and then dip into that whenever you want to, depending on what you want to talk about on that day. So, and editing, if we talk about tools, you know, because I like systems that actually make things faster. Tools sometimes help us to do that, but I think a lot of people get confused with it's all about tools. It's not. It's about the structure of how you use those tools that actually helps, you know. There's things like captions. I use captions every day. It's an app on my phone. If I have an idea and I ask my AI to create a script, specifically with my brain voice, which I created upfront in another tool, I will then add that into my captions app as a teleprompter, and I will selfie-record reading off the teleprompter, which I've become really good at, to make it seem natural and not like my eyes moving as if I'm reading off. I can tell when people are reading off the teleprompter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you've got to practice it a couple of times, but doing it on the spot, no matter where you are, there's no excuse to not do it, you know. whether you are just waking up or you on the way to the gym. If you look at my social media account, Julia Mann Official, on Instagram specifically, I do a lot of stuff in my car right before the gym because that's my content creation time. I usually do 2 to 3 reels in 10 minutes. Bam, bam, bam. AI will edit it for me. Captions, Apple put captions, AI edits. And then I just have to put it onto Instagram. It takes 10 minutes to do 3 pieces of content. And you can do that every day. And then if you have a tool to schedule it automatically, even better. That's just the basics of marketing, but there's so much more you can do.
Thanks for sharing this.
That's okay.
And person is saying, love this, can quote every line. Okay, now let's talk a bit more about AI and the marketing shift. So AI is everywhere right now, right? I mean, it's a buzzword, but what's the biggest misunderstanding business owners still have about AI and marketing? I mean, one thing you just mentioned about, it's not just about tools, but about systems. Is there anything else?
That's probably the biggest. I think what a lot of people think is that AI is everything, but there are so many companies, including OpenAI. I actually just recorded a podcast about it, where you don't realize how much money they are losing every day. And just recently, OpenAI owns Sora, which was one of the biggest, fastest growing video editing or video creation tools from ChatGPT, OpenAI. They just closed like that. They had a deal with Disney for $1 billion. Disney said, no, we're no longer interested. I don't want to get into the government stuff now because that's going to be a different episode for another time. But basically, they got so much money. Sora was spending $15 million a day.
Wow.
Yeah, and they didn't make any money. They lost. I think they spent they spent $1 on every 63 cents they were making. So they were spending almost 40% more than what they were making. And that can happen at any time to any marketing tool. So what I would recommend is, yes, use all the things online, but don't bet everything on one thing. This is why I think we need to really look into diversifying, because anything could be shut down at any time. The rules are changing so quickly. There was this new thing coming out that OpenAI bought, which is called OpenClaw. It was basically autonomous working on your desktop. I use Claude for that now because it's a bit more safe.
Yeah.
But now that is getting a lot of crap online as well because it's very unsafe. And there was tools that were buying stuff online for the user without even you prompting the thing to buy stuff for you. There was one OpenClaw bought $2,600 online course because it thought that its human would benefit from the course, So don't give AI your credit card. Don't give it full access to your computer. This is why I like to give it access to certain files only.
Yeah.
So just be very, very wary. On the outside, it looks all amazing because you're creating all of these great AI videos and avatars, and everyone says, here's one tool you missed, and you're leaving $1 million on the table. No. The real money is not in using a tool like on Higgsfield, which is one of the biggest collection of video AI tools. Yes, you can use it in your marketing, but it's not going to make your marketing faster, more efficient, and you make more money. It's not actually making you more money. Everything from below is making you more money, and the systems and processes and training your people on it as well.
Yeah.
So I guess this is in a very convoluted way. I want to say, don't bet on just one tool because it can be shut down. AI they still don't know what they're doing. They're throwing billions of dollars. They're getting funded by so many billionaires. If you knew all the behind the scenes, so many billionaires are funding so much stuff, and they are losing money. They're burning money really badly right now. Yeah.
Now, tell us again the name of your amazing podcast, where we can find it, so we can also listen to this amazing episode, right?
I just started the podcast actually just a few weeks ago. It's called Ahead of the Algorithm.
Ahead of the Algorithm, and we can watch it where?
It's on Spotify right now, but I'll do my best to get it onto Apple. But I don't know, does people still listen to Apple? I don't know.
Is this with video or just sound?
Some of them are sound and some of them are video. And at the moment, it's just me, but maybe eventually I will get guests on it as well, because I want to use it more of a learning tool rather than having lots of people on.
Yeah.
Mm.
I love it.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, Kirsten shared a lot of hearts in here. Yeah, check it out. Good. All right, now next question to you. I would love to know what are like, let's say someone hasn't used a lot of AI yet.
Mhm.
Let's say you're a coach or a consultant, right? What are the first AI systems a coach or consultant should focus on?
Systems or tools?
Let's say tools and systems.
Systems are not usually just pre-built. You know, they take a little bit of time and they are very subjective depending on the business. So that's where I come in and I go look at someone's business and I analyze on what they actually need and we build the system from underneath with certain tools, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if we're talking in terms of tools, I've mentioned, have a really good large language model. I recommend if you want to have a large language model that's out of the big four, it's Claude. But on top of that, I would also recommend something that I actually help with a little bit and I'm a co-founder of, which is Core Brain. So the core and the brain. And Core Brain is a closed system. And I don't consider it a large language model, it's more of an AI department where you have pre-built 14 different brains that will help you in any scenario. And this year we're coming out with AI agents that can actually do the work for you as well. Not many models do that in a closed system, and this is one I would highly recommend. I use it as my daily coach as well. But then the other one that I would recommend, and I'm probably going to change everything over to Core Brain once we have it out, but it's coming very, very soon, is Claude. Claude is, I don't recommend ChatGPT anymore at all. So Claude is really good if you download the app to your computer and use Claude Cowork. So do some research on that, which can do some things for you as well. Help me organize my desktop files, for example, and put it all very neatly. You should see my desktop, looks amazing. And then in terms of social media, I've mentioned Captions is one that I always use. So many people have thousands of apps and you just don't need them. You know, only invest into the few that you actually need.
Yeah.
In terms of AI video, to create avatars, I would use HeyGen.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And I also recommend to create different types of videos, Higgsfield. Higgsfield has a lot of really great models on there.
I definitely check out that one. I haven't heard about this one yet.
Yeah, and for creation of images, Higgsfield is really good as well. And Core Brain has also an amazing image generator too.
Yeah. Wow, guys, so many nuggets already, and we're not even done yet. We have a couple more minutes here. Wow. So if you just follow everything she said now, you could definitely scale your company and your team will have some really amazing tools. And she gave a couple of nuggets on the systems as well that you can start including. We have a lot of common friends, and like being part of this like business club is great, and we're part of the JT Fox community. I know for sure that Julia has trained a lot of common acquaintances, very highly successful business owners, and she's doing really well. I have seen references, I've spoken to them, they were super happy with what they've learned about AI and marketing, how you've trained them on using the Core Brain as well. So keep it up, this is super, super amazing. I use it myself too, and it is really, really good. So, wow.
Yeah, we do a lot of implementation now for a lot of people in the community.
Yeah.
Like websites, chatbots, AI, voice, and all that, automations, all built. So we do a lot of done-for-you services now too.
Oh, that's great. I think that's what people want because they're overwhelmed with it.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about a different kind of topic. What do you think? Like, how can someone stand out today without burning out and constantly creating content? Because everyone says you got to be online, you got to be visible. People like to be in the background, especially in Australia. I feel like with the tall poppy syndrome, even more compared to other countries.
If you really want to stand out, you've got to show your face. Unless you're excellent at networking and that has nothing to do with social media whatsoever, and you just go to a whole lot of conferences and networking events, you know, the quality of people though sometimes is a bit hit and miss because because everyone wants to just sell to everyone. But if you are very, very good at building true connections, yes, that is one way to then stand out. But do you have the time to do that? Do you have the time to go to events every single day? Great, then do that. But to stand out online, you have to be visible. You have to create content, but you've got to be smart about it. And no, you don't need 5 days of content creation. One is enough. Like I said, I do 3 videos in 10 minutes and you post it and you can share it across all social media. This podcast that we're doing now, you can chop it up into 50 different tiny reels.
Yeah.
With Opus Clip, you know, it does it automatically.
Yeah.
And there's really no excuse if you are not good at organic marketing. Well, organic is also social media, I guess, but if you're not good at in-person marketing yourself or building relationships, what's the other option you have? It's online. And then online you have organic, which organic does reach if you reach the right audience that want your stuff and are interested in it, but if they are not good enough at that, you have to pay for it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I don't think there's any excuse to not show your face.
Yeah.
Or maybe have someone else be the face of your brand if you don't want to do that.
Or use Squarespace as an avatar, but again, it's not the same.
Yeah, avatar, you know, I never really, unless it's one of the questions.
No,
that
go
come
ahead,
up.
tell me.
Avatars? I'm worried about your phone losing
No, it's fine.
battery. Okay, great.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome. In terms of avatars, a year ago or 2 years ago, maybe they become this whole, oh my God, an avatar, amazing, I can get replaced by an avatar. No, you cannot, because in a year's time, and right now even, everyone is sick of seeing avatars. A lot of people know what an avatar looks like because it hasn't gone fully. If you avatar yourself, that's what I mean. You can still tell that it is not you, and an avatar can't build real, true human relationship with your viewers.
Yeah.
It just can't, and it doesn't come over as authentic. We're not quite there yet. So right now, everyone is just really seeking that true human connection. Now it's kind of changed, you know. We want to be able to AI systems and processes, but people want to see real people now online.
Yeah.
And what I said the other day in my podcast is, if you have a brand on, I don't know, clothing brand, for example, a lot of the models are now AI, right? And that's
Yes.
fine, and everyone knows it, and you can't really tell the difference. But when it comes to the founder talking about their brand, the founder is a real person, and that's what people connect with. People don't connect with the model wearing the clothing. People connect with the people that are creating the content, the founder, maybe the behind the scenes. That's the kind of thing that people like to watch. But would you trust a brand new brand more if they just use avatars, or would you trust a brand new brand more if that's a real person talking about their stuff?
I mean, that's obvious, right?
Yeah, and I don't think that avatars will ever take over.
Yeah.
But maybe because I'm so deep in, I can tell when it is an avatar.
A lot of people don't. Even for some of these like sales customer agencies, when they call you, some of them they're so good at these voice agents, where some people don't know.
I think for customer support, it is totally fair to use voice AI or chat AI. That's what I built for people's businesses. But if it comes to face and content creation, I think people are sick and tired of just seeing avatars.
Yeah.
But I do want my answer really quick, and then it's great to have an AI answer it, because you don't need a real person answering it. You can have AI answer it. A little different, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge on AI and marketing here for us. Let's talk a bit more about some personal truths, a bit more about lifestyle balance. I mean, you've already shared a little bit with us.
What balance?
Balance, what's that?
What? I don't know. I just go with the flow, and if it feels too much, I just don't do as much.
Love it.
Yeah, I look after myself pretty well. I'm pretty happy with where it's at right now. I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, I love that you shared this just now. So you've built this high-level success. What has it cost you personally, and what have you had to refine along the way?
How well I spent time with kids and husband, I guess that's the main thing. There was a time when I was struggling so much that I was missing sports events. I mean, my kids don't care if I come to the sports, they say, but I think they do. Mine do. They
Yeah,
look
it's
over their
so
shoulder and they're like, is mine watching me? And like, I love that. And yes, I bring my laptop. If they're not on the field, I will quickly go and answer this person, you know. Oh, I have my phone on me, but I try to be a lot more present now than what I was when I was traveling a lot. So for me, that was a really good balance. But something that I had to work on apart from that was definitely just having that time for me and not getting that flight or fight response when it was getting too much.
Yeah.
You know, when you just have the adrenal fatigue a little bit,
Yeah.
when your body tells you, you've got to slow down. Actually, a year and a half ago, we put a little red light sauna in our pool area and a cold plunge.
I was like, were we talking about red light what?
Red light sauna and the cold plunge. I created my backyard as like my Zen zone / office, so I have work and relaxation in one.
Beautiful.
I have to, otherwise I get back to the burnt out stage, which is not a nice feeling. When you
Yeah.
have adrenal fatigue,
We've been there all.
oh man, and the hormones are all over the place anyway at this age now, so got to look after oneself.
It's crazy. You look so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
45 in August.
Wow. So what makes you happy?
Okay, I already said that earlier. To do what I want, whenever I want, with whomever I want.
That's a very, very good reminder. A lot of people, especially when they become entrepreneurs, they talk about, I want freedom.
That's the
I
same thing.
want it.
Yeah.
But I love that definition.
Yeah, that's exactly the same. Freedom is like do what I want, whenever I want, with whomever I want. You know, and if people want to come along the way with me, that's great. And if they don't, I will take a day and say, see ya, I'm going here and here. You know, women need that, I think, especially.
Yeah. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Ooh, the best advice ever. Like from one single person or across the board. I think there's a lot of commonality from coaches and stuff. I think probably the best one would be to implement fast. If you have something, implement and test really fast. Because if you don't, if you keep thinking about it, that turns into procrastination.
JT Fox is so good at that. Speed of implementation.
I think that's probably one of the best ones. If I have, you know, if you feel really right about something and you think about it after days and days, and eventually it might go away, you should be implementing it right then and there and see if it sticks.
Absolutely.
And then test it. I have another coach that says, test it for 60 to 90 days, and if you really put a lot of effort into it and it's not going anywhere, let go of it, but at least you've tried it.
Wow, I like that advice. And if you had to start all over today, let's say in a new country, in a new industry, what would be your exact first 30-day strategy to rebuild your momentum?
I would just be on social media, open up all the different social media accounts and do exactly what I'm doing now. Pick my topic, pick my niche, pick my target audience and create content as much as I can for the organic reach. And then once I see traction, I might put some money behind it. And I also go to some events to in-person interaction and tell them what I do. It might take some time if you don't put money behind it, but I think it will definitely grow eventually.
So we're slowly coming to an end here now. Amazing how many questions we've just covered in like these 2 minutes. Very efficiency. What's coming next? I mean, you have achieved so much. You're highly successful, and you've also achieved a lot in your personal life and with your family and so on. What's coming next in the next 2 to 5 years? Work and private life.
Work-wise, I always said I'll go with the flow because sometimes the personal life doesn't allow certain things to develop as quick as I want it to, especially when you have kids that need more attention now. Because my son is 12, he started high school, there's a lot of issues there because he has ADHD and we just got to manage. I might have to take him out and homeschool him at some stage, which is also going to change a lot of the work-life balance dynamic. My daughter is fine. I don't know how I was blessed with like an easy child, but then the other one is like a little bit more spirited. So for me, it's really, really hard to say where I'm going with anything really at any time. I don't have a 5 or 10 year plan, especially now with AI. I would say maybe the next 2 years. You know, I want to build up a lot more clientele to provide services to help them to actually AI their businesses, you know, get AI ready so that they know what they have available to them, and then also maybe help implement that for them and their teams. But where that's going, I mean, have you seen how quickly things are evolving in the last
Crazy.
year?
I mean, I lived in China. Shanghai speed is already a lot.
Insane.
When people are here with me in Australia, they always say, Janine, you're in Australia now. You got to slow down. I'm like, I am already slowing down. I'm like so slow.
Yeah,
But
it's really hard to say, and I think, yeah, and I think I will utilize and learn and implement as much as I can about what's happening right now with AI, but I want to help small businesses specifically. I don't work with multi-million dollar companies, although I could, but they probably have their own departments doing that. But I want to help those that are kind of scared or a bit weary or don't know how to start. These are the people that I want to help, because they will otherwise shut down. They will be left behind, and that's what I want to do. But whether it's going to be in 2 to 3 years, I don't know.
So please remind us who exactly of these small business owners should reach out to you.
I work a lot with coaches, consultants. I work with lots of different areas in business, but those are the main ones currently that I work with. I have a lot of people from the community right now that have to do with Core Brain. I work with those people a lot as well. I have a couple of personal trainers. You know, it's really, really broad, but I really like to work with people that are providing services to other people. Because that's what I do, and that's what I love,
Yeah, and please also subscribe to Julia's podcast called
Ahead of the Algorithm
on Spotify.
Yes.
All right, everybody. So, oh wait, we have another question here.
Yes, please.
How do you balance human touch and AI automation? Thank you for the question, person.
I have a lot of, for my own business, I'm assuming that person means. So for my own business, I do a lot of in-person stuff. You know, I go to a lot of events, and I make sure that that's never going to stop. So I don't just sit behind my laptop and I implement AI. I do a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of events that I go to. But for other businesses, that's exactly what I said earlier. I need to make sure that they know just having an AI avatar in their business is not going to help them to build that connection. So I think if you're building a personal brand online, now is the time, because you will stand out in a year's time if you are an actual real person. And I said, funnily enough, the other week when I was recording content in my car, I said that very soon humans will need to have a tick that they are human.
Oh yeah.
And to show they're not AI. And I think that's what we're going to, and I think that's what we need to keep. We need to keep that human-to-human interaction, but below the surface, a lot of the stuff can be automated, systemized, a lot of strategy of AI behind it, and then teach our team how to do that as well. But the customer, consumer aspect, there needs to be a lot of personal touch, especially right now.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you love today's session, sharing is caring. Share it with your friends, your family, anybody who needs to learn, because Julia gave us so many nuggets. Oh my gosh, it was a lot. I loved it. And please subscribe to YouTube, to my Spotify channel, Business Meets Life, Janine Jacob. Okay, for tomorrow, stay tuned. We have a little different kind of podcast coming up. And yeah, have a great day, guys. And Julia, thank you so much for flying from Brisbane here to Sydney.
Great weather today as well.
Let's go on the rooftop.
That's the trick.
Bye, guys. Have a
Thanks,
good
everyone.
day.
Bye.